everyone. Welcome to another episode of Your Past Does Not Define Your Future. And as I've always promised, I would have exciting guests on that can share with us lots and lots of wisdom, lots of advice and motivation, sharing things with us. Today's no exception. Today I have a really good friend of mine. Her name is Toni, and we have been friends for quite a few years. And I know that she's got a lot to share with us. So welcome, Toni. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing quite well, and I'm excited to be here with you.
Excellent, excellent. So mainly our audience is women. We do have a few men, but it's Everyday Women TV put this on, so it's for everyday women. And so what you do a lot of things, right? You're a businesswoman, you have a career, you have a husband, you have a family. So how do you balance all of that? How do you manage to have all of that going on?
That is a great question. So for me, my family is very much involved in my personal business. I'm a Mary Kay consultant. I have my own Mary Kay business, and my whole family stays involved with that. So being able to have them a part of my business, I don't have to balance it separately from my time with them because we do quite a lot of things together. As far as career, my outside job is, that's something that just about everybody has to do anyway. So balancing your job and your family is the same as it would be for anyone. You do your job during the day, you go home with your family in the evening. I try to keep them involved in whatever I can. And I also do try to make a lot of private time for me, and they respect when I need the me time. When I have a training or a class, or I have to do a party, they respect the fact that that's my me time. Or if in the evening when they all go to bed and I have time to meditate or read or, just take some time for myself.
Me time is so important. People don't take enough me time for themselves, and they don't schedule it into their time. They don't put it in a calendar. They just grab it when there's a free moment. And I think it's so important to actually schedule that time, to schedule me time. I know I sometimes forget, but usually I try to do it also. So what about any defining moments in your lifetime that you would like to share that you learned a lesson from?
Wow. So a defining time that I learned a lesson from, I had several years ago, I had come out of a bad marriage. I had an abusive spouse, and I was very, I don't want to say lost, but I felt like nothing was ever going to go my way. And I actually met my spiritual mentor, who this has been more than 25, 30 years now. And she is an amazing woman. And she brought me in and taught me that not only do I have value, but she taught me that it's more important to give and to serve, and that things will come back to me, and to surround myself with like-minded people, which is one of the reasons, Helen, that you and I have become such good friends, because we are like-minded. And serving others has been a pivotal time, a pivotal event in my life, because it's made me realize that when I do for others and I help to make them a better person, I in turn become a better person. So I think service to others has just been the pivotal event in my life.
And that's a good thing, service to others. However, some people may interpret service to others as give, and again, not have that balance of the me time, of the family time, because they're giving to the family, they're giving to their careers, they're giving to the community, they're giving. So how do you expand on service to others?
Well, you're right, because there is a line that you have to draw for yourself. And, it takes some practice to learn where your own personal line is. But for me, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant or long. It can just be complimenting someone. Oh my gosh, I love your blouse, Helen. You look so pretty in that color. That boosts your ego a little bit, your confidence. It makes you feel good about yourself. It didn't cost me anything, and I didn't require anything in return, but I felt better knowing that I put a smile on your face. So it can be something as simple as that. It can be volunteering. A lot of times I support local sports teams or dance troops or, Girl Scouts, whatever is going on. If someone says, hey, can you help out? Of course I can. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it just, for me, it's giving to others to help organizations, people, situations. I'm happy to give of my time, talent, and treasures. If they need someone to come in and do makeovers, I'll do it. If they need someone to come in and stamp hands as people enter an event, I'll do it. I don't mind doing that as long as it's within my boundaries. And when I want to just go back to what you were saying about scheduling the me time, I do follow a schedule and I do put my me time into it, because if I don't, it's easy to get carried away with those types of things. And so I learned the hard way that if I don't say, I can help you from 1 to 3, at 3 o'clock, I need to leave, because at 3:30 when I get home, I have my me time. And when you get in the habit of doing that, it's all about good habits. When you get in those habits, it will change your life.
And also it's discipline, because I know sometimes with me, like you, working for yourself and having your own business, there's always something to do. And it took me a while when I was having me time, whether that was going for a walk or going to the beach or just watching a movie or something, my mind was always, well, you could be doing this, you could be doing that. So I've learned to turn the mind off as well when I'm having me time, because otherwise it's not really me time. You're still working in your head and you're feeling, I shouldn't be doing this. You're feeling guilty. So it is getting to the point of me time is not selfish. Service to others is not selfish. And just to say something else about what you said about, saying to someone, oh, you've got a nice top or you've got nice hair or something like that. It's got to be genuine, right? It's not just, like you said, your spiritual mentor taught you how to give to make you feel better as well, but it has to come from the heart. If it doesn't come from the heart, then it goes into an empty space. I was reading something the other day, and it was saying that if your words, whatever your words aren't meant from the heart, they're not heard. Words that are just spoken are heard, but words that are spoken from the heart actually get into the person's soul. So I think it has to come from the heart. It can't be, just for the hell of it. Oh, well, I just heard that I should say something nice to people. That's not how it works. Would you agree?
100%. Anybody can, you don't have to be special to know that when some words are just hollow. You will know if someone says something that they don't genuinely mean, because like you said, they feel it. They don't just hear it, they feel it when you say something genuine. If it's not, it's hollow. They don't feel it. They just hear words that bounce off, and it's not helping either one of you. And personally, I can't say something that I don't genuinely mean, because it's not coming back to me. It's bouncing off into the ethos, because I'm not doing it for the purpose of helping that person or serving that person. I'm just saying it, and it's not gonna reciprocate back to me. So I try very hard not to say hollow words to people.
Absolutely correct. So mentorship, you mentioned about your spiritual mentor. So what other mentors have you had that have influenced you? Either good, because not all mentors are like you said, you got to have that connection. So not all mentors have a good connection. So what mentors throughout your years have stood out to you apart from the spiritual one that you just spoke about?
Wow, that's a tough one. I would have to say I've had so many different types of mentors and teachers. So, and I've learned, even if I learned one thing from them, it's made a difference in my life. So, for example, one of my colleagues when I worked at a university, he taught me how to work within the college system, which works in any other organization. So with the students, the teachers, the faculty, the administration, how to work together with people and how to, where you have to have give and take. I learned that from him. I learned quite a bit from you. You know, we've known each other for 7 years or so. And, you know, I feel like because we are like-minded, we learn from each other. So I've had, you know, when I was in leadership, there were so many mentors that taught me and helped me and made a difference. So I can't say that there's any specific ones. It's, you learn from everyone. You learn from the people that you surround yourself with. We are all mentors to each other in a way. And
Yes, I
I
agree.
think that's important. I think that, you know, if you're only taking and not giving back something, even one tiny bit of knowledge or understanding, things can't be one-sided all the time. They have to be give and take. And I think that's what makes a difference.
And also you're right. If you learn one thing from one person, because I've gone to workshops and sat there for 2 or 3 hours and thought, I'm not getting anything out of this. And then one word and you go, right, okay, I got one little nugget and I'm good with that. And I've had mentors throughout the years, and I always remember, you know, when I was 20, what my mentor said to me. You know, I remember, you know, when I was in corporate, that one of my mentors, what he said to me, and they were all just one things that I still use today.
Yes.
And the one I appreciated the most, and I use almost every day, and I also teach it, was we were at a writing workshop in corporate, how to write, you know, and he was sitting next to me and he passed me a note and it said, listen slowly. And I thought, that's great, because people don't listen to hear, they listen to reply. They're already formulating what they're going to say before the person's finished saying. So listen slowly was all had a big impact on me, you know. Yeah. So back to you, what keeps you motivated? You know, you've got your Mary Kay, which congratulations, you just won an award for Mary Kay. Tell us about the award you just won.
I was actually voted for the seminar year as Miss Go Give of my unit, which is the highest honor of Mary Kay, and it goes to the consultant who gives freely and helps others and is unselfish, and you're voted on by your sister consultants. So it was a huge honor for me, and I was so proud to get that. And thank you for asking. That was a special moment for me.
It was, and congratulations again, it was. And it fits in with everything you've just been saying about giving and you receive. And that's what you did. You were giving and you received an accolade for doing that. Yes. So what keeps you motivated? What keeps you motivated to have a career, have a family? And I know you've just made a big move also. You moved from Florida to where you are now. And I want to say New York, but I know it's not New York.
No, it is.
Oh, it is New York? Because I get confused because it's Jamestown, New York, isn't it? Right? Because I know there's another Jamestown in Virginia, I think.
Yes.
And I get the two confused. So you did this big move and everything. So what keeps you motivated, especially after making that big move, even though you've gone back to your family, which has probably motivated you more? So what keeps you motivated?
Well, definitely my family. Everything I do is for them. I'd like to leave a good legacy to my children and my granddaughter. I want them to know that working hard and being a good person is what's going to get you ahead in life, and it's really what matters. And for me, especially, achieving small goals or large goals keeps me motivated. I am a checklist girl. So if I have a list of things to do and I check off the first three, I'm ready to finish the next four, because I love to see how things unfold the further and further you get. So when you set up steps to reach your big goal, how many more steps do I have? Look at, I completed this, I'm going to do these. So for me, it's just succeeding at goals that I set for myself, no matter how big or small. They just keep me motivated and keep me moving.
I know. I'm the same. Checklists. And I always have lists for everything. And when I cross them off, it's like, okay, you've achieved something. Because sometimes at the end of the day, especially when we're mothers and wives and or partners, and we've got families and careers and side hustles and all this sort of thing, sometimes you can get to the end of the day and feel that you haven't achieved anything. But I think if you have a checklist and you go back and go, yes, I did. I marked that off my list and I did this off my list. So you can actually counsel yourself into a better positive frame set instead of a negative mindset, because you've still got mountains of things to do and you think you haven't achieved anything. So I'm a great one for a checklist, but also making sure that your checklist is also in your calendar, because sometimes our calendar doesn't match up with our checklist. And that's when we get negative about ourselves, because we're all our own worst enemy, of course, So one last question. What is on your bucket list that you still want to achieve?
Wow. Okay. Well, there's a couple of things. As you know, I completed my master's degree when I turned 50.
Yes.
So, which was a huge accomplishment for me. And now I'm 55 and I'm considering going back for my PhD. So that would be on my bucket list. Of course, a lot of travel with my husband and my children, my granddaughter. I want to show her the world. I think it's so important for children to travel and see other cultures and other lifestyles, and really to move my Mary Kay business forward. I'm currently about halfway to qualification for my first car. So I'm very excited about that. So again, that's on my what do I need to do to get there checklist. So getting a car, becoming a director, being able to leave my job so that I can do it full time would be fantastic. That's on my bucket list, and really just enjoying the rest of my life. I've spent my whole life working and putting things off, and I'm ready now to enjoy life. Just as things come up, I want to be able to say yes and not, I'll have to think about it. I've decided that I'm no longer going to say no to things that I really want. There's no excuse not to have what you want. You just have to plan for it. So that's my bucket list, to just do all those things. I'm working on a book. So I'd like to get a book published, and I think that's enough we got a lot of time left. So
exactly. Well, looking forward to the book. That would be excellent. There's a lot of people writing books now. I think having the isolation with COVID really gave people inspiration to do quite a lot of things. I know there was a lot of negative things came out of the isolation, but there was also a lot of positive things came out of being at home and having the time to be able to do things that you didn't normally have time to do. And there's a lot of people writing books right now, and I'm co-authoring 2 at this moment in time, and one of them comes out in October October 25th, I think the launch is. So, so we'll stay tuned for your book. So when it's almost there, we'll do another interview and we can talk about your book and help you get it out there too, because I'm sure it's going to be full of lots of little nuggets. Is it going to be fiction or nonfiction?
I think you actually gave me the inspiration, Helen. I think it's going to be derived from my blog. It's
Right.
just some little blurbs and thoughts and opinions, and really just encouraging people to be better.
I remember the conversation. Yes, I remember. So tell people the link for your blog.
My blog is 5 Foot Fury Unfiltered. It's fun. Some of it's raw, some of it's funny, some of it is emotional. I think there's a little bit of something for everybody in there, so go ahead and check that out.
Yes, exactly. And we'll put the link in when we're finished at the end of the recording also. And when we publish it on social media, we'll put the link in there so you can all check out Toni's Unfiltered, because some of it is unfiltered. So thank you, Toni, so much for this interview. You've shared some things with us. I hope it's given you, the audience, some food for thought, and maybe you got some nuggets out of it. Even one little nugget is always good to have. So once again, this is Helen Vella with Your Past Does Not Define Your Future. And remember, mindset is the key to transformation. Thank you all for listening.